Hello, and welcome to my thoughts on Yakuza 4 Remastered. I'll try to keep these shorter than the previous ones from now on, as in less than 30 minutes. I will start with the story. I consider the story a massive improvement over the story of Yakuza 3. Blue Yakuza 3 story way out of the water. It was much better paced. It didn't grind to a halt just so that you could spend time at the seaside, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just, the story did not tell you that you were in a hurry when you were in fact not in a hurry. So yes, I liked the four protagonists idea. I liked the idea of their stories being separate and yet all being part of the same story and coming together right at the end and dovetailing into what it did. It was interesting that now was the time that they chose to deal with the corruption in the police force of Kamurocho. Because it's never really been brought up in the previous Yakuzas. Of course, we would have assumed that, yes, there was at least a little bit of police corruption. But nowhere near as much as what was revealed in Yakuza 4. As a personal thing, I am actually a bit curious as to how the assistant commissioner managed to pull this off for so long without being nicked. I mean, he's doing all his deeply insidious stuff right in the eye of the commissioner and all the unbent cops and all the oversight that I'm very sure that a Japanese police department has to make sure that what did happen doesn't happen. So I'm just a little bit curious, a little bit sad that we didn't see more of that, but again, it wasn't necessary to see it happen. It's that is more a this is my curiosity speaking rather than it was necessary to the story. I'm glad that we've seen Haruka maturing as she's growing up, which is an odd thing to say, but it's consistent with how she should be, you know. She's the big sister at the orphanage. She's been with Kiryu from Yakuza 1. And yeah, she's had to deal with stuff that most kids her age would never even dream of happening to them. But yeah, she's handling it well, and that's good. Yasuko's character is curious to me. She's sort of portrayed as a femme fatale, yet at the same time it doesn't really come across that way. It's like she's not really hardened by all the assassinations that we were told she had to do. And we saw that, I think, right at the end where she bumps off Katsuragi in the nervous way that she holds the revolver, and yeah. Yeah, she's not character to me. I'm a little bit sad that Majima got so little screen time. Again, that's a me thing, not an against the story thing. It's an I like the chaos that Majima brings by being himself. So yeah, for me personally, could have done with more Majima. Akiyama was an interesting concept, a different kind of take on the billionaire philanthropist kind of thing. I think it worked. I think he worked quite well. He was casual enough without being too casual. You know, like our Elon Musks and our Sir Richard Bransons and all those sort of really rich people who do really weird stuff all the time. How they think that dressing like common people makes them a common person, and they're really not. Don't get that sort of vibe with Akiyama, which I think is good. It's yeah, definitely aids the story that he's not. Yeah. Tanimura. I started off thinking that Tanimura was bent. But yeah, obviously I was proven wrong very, very quickly that he wasn't bent. He just liked a bit of a flutter on the horses. I would say that he's the most bland of the protagonists, which isn't a bad thing. It's not. We were able to. We were able to get. I won't say down and dirty, but we were able to see his connection with the regular everyday people of Little Asia through Zhao and Mehua. And that sort of grounded the story, I think. On the other hand, we have Saejima being introduced by blazing away in a ramen shop. Even if he doesn't actually kill the 18 people that he's credited with, because of that little switcheroo that happened with his ammunition and so forth. So Saejima was an interesting character to me. He definitely see the anger, definitely see it, that it's deep seated. You know, that he's never going to be able to get rid of it, no matter what he does. He may laugh, but it will never touch his eyes, as I know some people would say. Yeah, definitely felt his connection to his sister, particularly at the end there. And Kiryu is, as usual, Kiryu. Being Kiryu, wearing the white suit and the red shirt, punching a bunch of punks in the nose, and yeah. What can I say? You can't beat Kiryu. Speaking of punching in the face, let's move on to the combat. The combat is definitely also improved from Yakuza 3 Remastered. I read somewhere that that Yakuza 3 had something to do with it being upgraded from 30 FPS to 60 FPS, and that was why everyone was continually permanent blocking, and that was why it happened. But did not see that here in Yakuza 4, except in the very final fights, where yeah, they were just being bosses, and bosses can be real pricks. But no, enjoyed the combat much more than Yakuza 3's. Yeah, it was a little bit more flashy. It was much more fluid, and people just weren't blocking all day and making every fight last ages and ages and ages. I do want to comment on the music for Yakuza 4. I actually feel that the music is a step down from what it is usually. The soundtrack, particularly noticeable in the fights, was much more subdued than in previous titles in the series, because it's all the electric guitars and the drums and everything. It's usually much more verbose. But yeah, it's I noticed the music because I didn't notice it, if that makes any sort of sense. It's like, oh yeah, there's music happening, but I whoop-de-doo. I won't say it's bad. It's not a bad soundtrack. It's different from what I've come to expect based on previous offerings. The voice acting, I will reiterate again that I love Japanese voice acting. They just get so much more into it than any of our English voice actors could possibly do, and I just love it. That said, I do wish there was more of it. I wish that more of the dialogue would be voice acted. Not only because it would save my voice, but also because it would keep us in the story for longer. And we are getting to the PS4, PS3, PS4 era in Yakuza, and the idea of space limitations affecting voice acting is very much in the past at this point. So yeah. So yeah, let's hope in Yakuza 5 and 6 and into the Like a Dragon series, the voice acting becomes more prevalent. I do want to touch on the side quests as well, because I didn't do them. The it's a similar state to the music. I think it's the side quests are very subdued in Yakuza 4. They don't have what I've come to expect from a Yakuza side quest. You know, like some bloke in a pig costume being flogged by his dominatrix, needing to get an apple for his mouth, is what it's an example of what I might expect in a Yakuza side story, but we didn't really get that this time. I mean, that one where I had to deliver curry for that delivery guy who'd crashed and quote-unquote broke his leg. It's like, okay, no, it's fine, but it's not really quirky. It's not. There's nothing especially strange about this, you know? Perhaps not strange, perhaps alien, perhaps... yeah. I'm not sure of the correct adjective here. But yeah, did not get into the side stories of Kamurocho for anyone, really. And the, neither for the minigames. Cabaret Club Czar looked and felt really watered down from the previous versions that we played. I mean, putting makeup and clothes on a little dolly and then walking around until two people talk before going back in and changing her clothes and makeup 3 times in a row was just... yeah. I don't think it was lazy. I think they were just trying to do something different with it, but it just didn't grab me the way that Cabaret Club Czar did. As weird as that sounds. Yep. Okay, we're being short. So, all right. If Yakuza 3 was a 4 being generous, Yakuza 4 is an 8 being generous. Definitely would play it again before playing Yakuza 3. If we're talking about main story alone, for the full experience, yeah, definitely play Yakuza 0, 1 and 2 just to get the madness out there, the good minigames and so forth. Definitely worth playing. I liked how the story went. I liked the new characters for the most part. I liked how existing characters grew and changed. Again, for the most part. Not sure how Daigo's going to go in the very near future, but we'll see, I guess, in Yakuza 5. So yes, our next playthrough is Octopath Traveler. So we will see you in that one.